Matthias, I'm 30 years old now. I was looking for a remote job in the e-commerce field. I come from a country where e-commerce is still developing, so remote was the only option for me to find a job where I can grow and become better in what I did. I joined in 2023. I spent a couple of months on the program, and the first CV that I sent out after the program, I got the interview, I got the job, and it ended up being the most important job I had in my career lifespan, because then I jumped into other opportunities. I think I reached out to Michelle after around 5 or 6 months sending hundreds of CVs on LinkedIn. I found it very difficult to try to end up with a CV that really captures all of the diverse projects and accomplishments that I did. Since I was looking for a job for 6 months and not being called for a single interview, it inevitably felt like a very impossible thing to find a remote job. And it was also in a weird time where I was technical, but not enough technical for the type of jobs that I was looking for. So yes, I was definitely not, I did not have high hopes that I will find a job. Throughout the program, before you actually start writing the CV, you need to go through the process into writing your beliefs and what you learned and what accomplishments you've had. So you're articulating everything, and the program helps you to do that. So then it is very easy to write everything in the CV, and then those 5 seconds that a recruiter spends in reviewing your CV, you've gone through that process to capture his attention and get called for the interview. Okay, so obviously the CV is very important. However, there are tiny details here and there that you need to go through the process and through the program to understand them. Since I joined the Remote Rebellion program and then I found my first full-time remote job, first of all, it has been easy to find remote jobs. Secondly, because now I have the ability of finding a remote job and I have experience in working with remote jobs, now my life has changed because I can be traveling to a place for a long time and working from there. My girlfriend is going to be working in the UK for a year next year, and I can just pick up my laptop without even telling my boss, because why would you in the remote world? I had doubts about Michelle and I had doubts about the program, because why would you not have doubts about spending money for something that people do, applying for jobs and finding work for free? However, in the lifespan of your life, the amount of money that the program charges for all of that knowledge is invaluable, and I would highly suggest you to do that. Going through the program and going through all of the modules and also discussing, because you become part of the community while you're in the program, it makes you feel a bit better and a bit more hopeful, and that hope will give you enough motivation to go through the program and then increase your chances. There is no 100% guarantee that you will find a remote job. However, if you're 25, 30, 35 years old, with the remote program, you're increasing the likelihood of finding a job. And if you multiply that by the number of years that you have working, you will definitely 100% find a remote job easier and quicker. You're looking for a job, so you might not be in the best financial position. However, the prices compared to the increase in salary that I got because I found a job in a much more developed country, the return on investment was probably 5, 6, 7x in the first year. But now I keep on using the same CV, and now each and every time I apply, a lot of times I get called for interviews. It's not just a career change, but also a change that has been perfect for my life.